So hi and welcome to my shop, and thank you so much for joining me here on the 25th of September, a rainy gray day here. Kind of ugly, but I can't complain because the east coast of Canada has taken a heck of a beating, and I feel so sorry for the Canadians out there, and I'm so glad that governments are acting rapidly to try to help out, because my understanding at this point, I think it's not well understood how much damage has occurred. There's a hurricane has gone through the east coast of Canada, but it sounds like at least one entire town has been wiped right out. So I don't know exactly, but we'll know more today. But nothing I can do about that directly, unfortunately. So, but I am thinking about it. I'm sure every Canadian is. Now, things haven't gone very well in my shop this morning. I've been in here for an hour and a half already, but you won't see any of the video from it. After an hour of monkeying around with this radio, wondering why it won't receive any AM unless I give it a big shot out of that signal generator, I suddenly realized I had not installed the jumper I intended to install, which would connect the antenna wire, bypassing this burned coil and into the radio. I didn't put the jumper in, so the antenna wire was connected to nothing. It took me an hour to realize that. So basically, much ado about nothing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to install the jumper. We're going to take, I'm going to play the radio. We're going to see these lights. These are the new lights I've put in already. Here they are. We're going to check out that. That's the light. It's a 4 watt light, which still sounds kind of big to me, but that's the lowest wattage 15 millimeter socket lamp I could find. Okay, I'm going to install the jumper, and then we're going to play this radio, and I'm going to repeat what I was doing this morning. Only it's going to work this time. I was going to pop the radio back in its cabinet, but I think I'm smarter to try it just out of the cabinet first, just in case there's trouble with it. Okay, and we're just going to start with no antenna at all, just this piece of wire hanging out here. Okay, we're on the broadcast band. I put the knobs on. Incidentally, the tuning in this radio has been very clunky. Like if you tune it with the fast tune, it kind of clunks along. But when you use the fine tuning, you can hardly feel that. So in fact, the thumpiness or whatever's happened in the tuning system doesn't really matter in the end. You can feel it, but it's nothing. So that's great. Okay, so we're on broadcast, volume is down, and we're going to apply power, and you're going to see these lights. Now we're going on dim bulbs first. Voila, these are 4 watt light bulbs. Seems a little high to me, but these large light bulbs are the reason they're large is because they're high wattage. So the designers of this radio put these large sockets in. They expected to put higher wattage lights than you typically find in these little radios. The little lights, you know, would they be 1.5 watts? They get hot, and if you were to try to do 4 watts on a little tiny miniature bulb, I think it would just get too hot. These get warm too. And so we really can't appreciate the look on the screen yet, because I don't have it in the cabinet. So it's really hard to tell what it's doing. But we can look at something here, and that is the alignment of the filament. Now you can't see it in the camera because you just see a big white glow here, but I can actually see the filament, and I can see that it's just behind a wee bit from the edge of the glass. Barely anything, in fact. And the filament is arranged vertically. So a lot of light is being cast right onto the edge of the glass here, which is exactly what they're trying to do. You have to line the light bulb filament up with the edge of the glass to get the major amount of light going into the glass, and then it's going to make this whole thing glow really nicely. Okay, so radio doesn't seem to be in trouble. I did operate this radio early this morning for well over an hour on full voltage until I realized the mistake I was making. Remember, this is no antenna. You can barely hear anything. It's a little something coming out of the speaker. Excellent. Wouldn't do that last time because essentially this antenna wire was not connected inside the radio. Okay, we're cooking with gas. I'm going to put on a outdoor long wire antenna. I'm not going to connect the grounded side of the coax cable. So this is basically a center of the coax cable all the way out to a it's actually a folded dipole, so unless I hook up both leads, we're really not getting the folded dipole effect. But I have a mile of cable between here and the antenna, so I don't know. Okay, let's see if I'm going to be disappointed again. Pick up something. Pick up something, anything. Definitely. Come on, anybody. Right in here. Strongest station should be right down here. It's got a lot more life in it, but all the strong stations are down here. I'm not picking anything up that won't. So I'm going to connect this ground wire now. Probably quiet down the radio. Let's see what happens. Wow. It never quieted down. I wasn't quite expecting that much, but that's full volume. Wow. What's that telling me? Telling me don't hook up that wire. That's it. Okay, turn the treble up, you can hear a little more of the hiss. So hooking up that ground wire is just eliminated the signal pretty well to the radio. The volume's right up full. Okay, now we're going to try something that I think will compensate nicely for the situation with this radio. We're going to hook it up to a loop antenna. To some degree, the loop antenna mimics the coil that's been jumpered in the radio. That coil is obviously important. They wouldn't put it in the radio if it wasn't of value. So behind me here I have a loop antenna. My college built loop antenna out of junk. They've dragged this thing around, minus the tripod down there. I dragged it around this antenna my entire life. That would be, well, since I was in college. So without revealing too much, that's got to be 45 years I've been dragging this antenna around with me. There's nothing particularly special about it, but I'll just explain it very briefly. So it's a two-part antenna. The first part is this 5 turns of wire. Whoops, can't see my hand. These 5 turns of wire here. This little bundle goes around and around and around and around, and the ends down here connect to a capacitor, and they don't do anything else. It's just a capacitor and a coil. That's all. This other wire, this is the pickup wire, which is going to pick up the signal, and this is hooked up to here, hooked up to the radio. There's nothing, no capacitors, no nothing. It's just a single loop of wire running close to the bundle on the outside. When I tune the capacitor, it will develop a resonance with this coil, this rather large coil here, and any frequency at the resonant point will ring in these wires and produce a very loud, very strong result, and then this wire can pick it up. The thing about these antennas is they got to be tuned. If you don't tune them, you won't hear much. Okay, so now I have to hook up both wires because it's a loop. Hook up one wire. I haven't got the volume on. Should hear something? Hear something? Not much. Something there. Hook up the other wire, it should go silent. Or at least become very, very quiet. Because it's such a low impedance antenna, it's a single piece of wire over there, just going around those broomsticks. It's really like I just shorted out the antenna. Now, so we're around 600 kilohertz. I'm going to tune the antenna, and we should hear the radio come to life as I start to resonate the outer bundle. Hello. Okay, I have a range switch here. Nothing at all, eh? Let me turn the volume right up on this radio. We have to have something tuned in. Okay, right there. Some kind of interference or noise. It's way weaker than I expected. So that's probably 590, the sports channel. It's in the right location. That's the strongest AM station in my house. Should be nothing down here. If the dial's correct. Go past that one. $640. You know what? I don't have this on full voltage. You can see, just notice the dim bulbs in the background. That's why it's so quiet. Give it a chance. Yeah, look at the lights. Give it a chance. Oh, there's the difference. Okay, now what? Some interference here. The loop antenna is directional. That proves the loop antenna is actually functioning. Let me tune that antenna again. Yeah. How much volume? Oh boy, that was a little hard on the video there. There's a 640. I'll have to tune the antenna pretty soon. Can't go too far without tuning that antenna. Let me tune it right now. There's 640. 680 would be next. Okay, tune the antenna. Doesn't seem to respond much. Right around there. That's 680. Let me tune the antenna again. That's pretty good for 680. Now we're going to try it for 860, a French station. It should be somewhere around here. I'll have to tune the antenna again. Okay, so I think it's right there. Tune the antenna. Pretty sharp tuning on that antenna. There it is. Can you hear it? tune the antenna and aim it. So I'm going to aim it first. And tuning. It's there, but it's very weak. If the radio had its proper coil, this would probably be better. Now I have another loop antenna I want to try, because this one you can buy in the store. Or you can buy it on eBay, you can buy it on Amazon. They're gotten a little more expensive lately, like everything. They're running around $80 Canadian, something like that. The beauty of this is it's a little tiny thing compared to that big broomstick antenna. I'm going to connect it the same way here. There's no polarity to these antennas. Nothing grounded about them. Well, I'm hooking up the antenna to the other antenna here. I need a clip lead to do this. This is not an active antenna. There's no battery in it. There's nothing like that. But it's basically the same thing as that broomstick antenna I just showed you. My own broomstick antenna. Except it's, the dimensions here have been engineered properly. So I think it doesn't receive quite as well as my big broomstick antenna, and it's probably just a size thing. Having it here on my bench, not so good. Okay, we'll go right for the French station right away. Tune it. Two spots. That's strange, it was tuning way high on the map. It should be here. Oops. Let it come off. What happened there? I'm holding this antenna in my hand. Not the best way to do it. The hand influences it. The directionality to it. Where's that station? Can't find it with this antenna. Let's go down to the stronger stations. Get the antenna's way to tune. .680. And here, tune it. Now I'll try to use the antenna to null that interference out. I nulled out the station. Okay, I can't get rid of the noise. But you can hear the station under there? Tune it. There is a station at 610 out of St. Catharines. That's on the other side of Lake Ontario. For me, that's far away. I believe that's 610 from St. Catharines. That's pretty good. Unfortunately, there's lots of interference in here, so you're hearing interference on top of the station. In another location, like another spot in my house, or this kind of noise wouldn't be here. Tune it. Okay, I think that's enough. Enough for the broadcast. Good. I think, it's good. Oh God, it's missing a part. Still working. Good. Shortwave. Now shortwave, you want to use the outdoor antenna only. The loop antennas are not effective on shortwave, at least the ones I have. I'm going to hook up the center conductor, so to speak. Just put the ground away for now to start with. You can't hear a station on AM now because the ratio between the radio signal and the noise with the tuned antenna is like this, so you can hear it. Without it, the noise is stronger. The noise signals in here are very strong. Okay, we're going to go shortwave. Radio is currently in the 49 meter band. It's, oh my gosh, it's 20 after 12. That's because I had to do 2 sessions this morning. We probably won't pick anything up until we get up around 9 megahertz, 13 up in that area. Let's go see. Pick up any broadcasts, any international broadcasts. The broadcast bands are marked in red on this radio. There's a red piece here, a red piece here. So that's where you go fishing for those. There's no use looking in here. There are no broadcast stations. Here we are. So we're up around 9 megahertz. I wouldn't expect there to be much down here at this time of day. Gotta go higher in frequency. Checking for WWV. Don't find it. Okay. I'm going to jump up to the next red area. Now we might start picking some stuff up. 11 megahertz. 25 meter band. So we're getting just about the worst time of day to try this, by the way. I think that's a station, right? Okay, with this weak station now, I'm going to experiment with the antenna ground. See if it helps. I just never know. Whoa! Seems like you never know if it's going to help or not. Ooh, that helped. The tone control action is all contained in the first couple degrees of turn. What we're listening to, if you're not in North America, we're listening to a signal from the United States, probably a religious broadcaster, probably. This could be a microphone in a church in the United States, and we're listening to the congregation sing. That could be what this is right now, live. Go back down a little bit because I improved the antenna. So this is probably Radio Marti, American government propaganda station aimed at Cuba. But what I personally think is that it entertains all the Cubans who fled to Florida. That's what I think's going on. And you gotta wonder, who's being propagandized? So you pick it up in two places here. And there. It's there every day. Those two frequencies. Not much else. Okay, let's go up to the next band. So there's a European band that's not marked on here at 13 megahertz. It's a North American radio, and that band was never recognized here. I'm not sure what language that is. Very weak one. Oh. Well, there's no reason why you couldn't find North American broadcasters broadcasting in this band. I don't think there's anything stopping them. There's a good strong signal.
Stories in God's Word, and I think informative stories. But listen,
no, we're not going to listen. Okay, now we're getting up into the 19 meter band, or around 15 megahertz. You might hear I need to clean this control. You may hear WWV here. Ooh, what was that? What was that? It came and went. There's WWV. Let's look at the accuracy now of this dial. I can. Really hard with this camera. Let's switch cameras. Wow. Yeah, you don't get much better than that. Good alignment job, Jim. Should pick up some stations up here. I'm hardly turning the dial now. Just go right past these guys. You have to turn very slowly. Let me try disconnecting the ground again from the antenna. Nope. Didn't help. climb up pretty high here. I'm not likely to get anything higher, but you never know. Now I'm using a tuning technique where I'm trying to pass the station and hear the whoomp of the radio rather than going slowly. That sounds Spanish to me. Could be Radio Marti again, or who knows. Cuba broadcast shortwave, of course, Spanish. That's the end of the road. Well, that's not bad. It's time to put it back in its cabinet and see what it really looks like. I think I may be done with this radio. I'm not sure what more I can do for it. Great. Time to stop here. Okay, I think we're ready for what could be a final test. I still have the speaker just up on top of the cabinet, and I haven't bolted the chassis in yet because I'm not sure what's going to happen. I did manage to find a knob which is similar to the real knobs, this one here. So it has the 3 wooden knobs on it again. This is not working well. So a bit of a problem with this knob. The shaft is pretty big on it. There. Okay, let's go like that. Okay, I might have to do a little more with this knob. Okay. I think all we're going to do is basically look at the way this looks. I'll flip it over to shortwave and stick an antenna on it, just so, because the speaker's not in the cabinet, there's really nothing. We're not going to hear it the way it's going to sound when it finally goes in the cabinet. I've hooked up the wrong antenna again. So this is the outdoor wire antenna. Now, the time now is almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Again, this really isn't the best time to be listening to shortwave, but you never know. You never know. Let me just clamp this wire here. Okay, switch off. Power on. This will be full power. So the shop here is well lit. It's hard to tell in the camera what's going on with the lighting in the shop. Right now it's well lit. This is the big moment. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, let's douse a few lights here. Douse these ones first. Didn't make much difference. Clean this volume control. Knob a little loose though. That's okay, everything's just kind of temporary here. Let's tighten up a bit more. And let me get rid of the big light here. Let's see what this looks like. Fantastic! It looks fantastic. It's over bright in the camera shot. To my eye, this is just wonderful looking. So I can see all kinds of dust. Because anything that's sitting on the glass now is going to get highlighted. And you can even tell that this is dusty in here. So it's another thing would be to clean the back of the glass a little bit. The way I do that, by the way, I would never, something like this, I would never apply water or any kind of cleaner or whatever. I usually take a feather, believe it or not, a large feather, and sweep the back of it with a feather. I found that to be quite effective. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. This knob I've put in is allowing a lot of light out at the back here because the knob is sticking out. I haven't shoved it all the way in, so that shouldn't be visible. This time of day again.
A body that works together for the good. Organization and for the good of Yahweh's own person. Not in me, like Judah Iscariot. He has been receiving the word of Yahweh.
The word of Yahweh. So a radio like this, you know, you shouldn't really be trying to listen to weak. Hey, what's that? Did it? A little bit of Morse code there. L. See, D-L-L is what I got out of that. D-E-L-L. You wouldn't normally be able to hear shortwave on a radio like this because this can't respond to single sideband transmissions. But if there's enough interference, you can manage to hear shortwave. Otherwise, what you hear is just pop, 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 like that, with no sound associated with, no tone. There is a ham band, a very small digital ham band, right at 10 megahertz. Okay, we'll go up to this band. Uh-oh. Something loose in there. What would that be? That would be loose now. Didn't know it's a loose. That's once. That's twice. Radio Marti. Never in English. I don't think they ever broadcast in English.
Only one way to that stuff. Or if you start talking like that, you know it.
What's doing that? I guess these lights, when I turn them up, they make that sound, and when you turn them down, they make that sound. Terrible interference. These little LED spotlights I have in here. This will be the European band.
Not what I'd like to hear.
Something's drifting up and down. You can tell from the pitch of that sound going up and down.
Why are we hearing thunder?
Not necessarily this radio at all.
I'm just going to put it out there.
Look at that dial. That's fantastic. And the 4-watt light is not too bright. It looks a little too bright in the camera, but here with my eyes it's perfect. It's just wonderful. Now this sound, this is ham radio. This is something called FT8 digital, a digital mode on ham radio. I do this. This is what I do on ham radio. Well, I'm about to do it. My radio unfortunately died a few months ago. I purchased another radio. I'm just about to put it in service, maybe later today. Now that was teletype, also ham radio guys doing teletype. It's the problem. It could be a contest going on. There's more teletype. Usually you can't hear this stuff on a radio like this. You don't hear it. Well, there must be a contest for that much teletype to be out there. Yeah, and guys use teletype. Okay, we'll go up to the 19 meter band. I got something earlier, but Nothing now. Sound Indian? Like from India? Yeah, I would guess this could be all India radio. Not targeted at us out here in North America. A domestic service. Fading right out. I think this is African. Now the thing about African, we pick up African stuff here. No, that's not African. It's me turning the volume up and down. Right up to the end of the dial. And nothing more. So that last thing, that could be Cuba. Radio RT. It sounded like sports to me. So it could even be South America. Often the sports stuff like this on shortwave is coming from Brazil. Fun to listen to. Okay. Yeah, it's dark in here. Okay, very good. Let me turn on some kind of light here. Of course, I can't see what I'm doing in the dark. There we go. Wonderful. Okay, so a couple more minor things to do. Clean up the volume control knob. Clean the back of this screen or dial glass if I can. And what a wonderful radio. I found this radio on 2 museum type websites where this was used as an example of a Rogers radio, this exact same model. Would you believe one of these is on display at the Rogers headquarters? Yeah, Rogers still exists in Canada, except they don't make radios. They don't do anything like that anymore. They completely changed over the course of time to a cable company, a TV cable company. And now they're a huge company here in Canada, one of the 3 or 4 large internet service providers at telephone, television, and internet. In fact, this video it traveled over their system because I'm a Rogers customer too, Rogers cable customer. But I think most people here in Canada, if you said Rogers, and they would have no idea that Rogers was manufacturing radios or tubes or any of that past history, all long gone. But just beautiful. I just love how that's, and then you have it on, just some light here in the shop. Beautiful. I love this radio. You know, it's the right size to have. It's not too small. It's not too big. A beautiful screen. Lovely. Fantastic. I'm pretty happy. Well, I'm going to end the video here. I probably won't show this radio again. I'll just do the minor things and get it done. And the owner's going to be here in just a day or two to pick it up. Wonderful. Thanks a lot for watching the series on this radio. See ya.